Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel. We are looking at another programme of EFL Championship predictions. It's the Boxing Day fixture, always a fan's favourite, the Boxing Day games. After the Christmas festivities or Christmas Day festivities, get out and about, hopefully some fresh air, some decent weather. So we shall see what that brings weather-wise. So we've got a full programme on Boxing Day itself, which is good. All the fixtures on the one day, of course. All of them 3 o'clock bar 2. We'll have a quick look at all of the fixtures coming up. UK time, of course, when I say 3 o'clock. So we shall have a look at the excitement that's ahead, hopefully, and what happened at the weekend. Well, just a quick resume, really, because there was a little change at the top because the top four all won their games. So Sheffield United, Leeds, Burnley and Sunderland in that order, top four, all winning at the weekend and keeping their good form going. Blackburn, just a quick mention for them, they're in 5th place, but now there's a 6-point gap between them and Sunderland, and Blackburn's excellent winning streak, came to an end at Millwall, which is a bit of a surprise that they lost. I mean, Millwall are never an easy place to go, is it, down there? But yes, for Blackburn not to score and lose the match was a slight surprise, but there we go. Once you're on those sort of runs, you become real targets, don't you? People want to really stop your progress, halt your progress more than ever, maybe, so more than usual. So always a bit of fun when you're coming up against a side that's on a winning streak particularly. So that happened to Blackburn. They slipped up, but they won't be too disappointed, I'm sure. They've had a fantastic run of late, and it's really catapulted them into contention in that playoff picture. Down at the bottom, it's Plymouth. Although Plymouth had a plucky result, we'll have a quick look at that in a bit. They had a plucky result, a good draw against Middlesbrough, and they're bottom, and they're joined in the bottom 3 on going into Christmas with Oxford and Cardiff. So yes, we'll look at those, what happened to those a little bit later. So everyone else shuffling around as always. So not much change at the weekend really. So we're going into the Boxing Day games then. And we know this is a period when the games come along thick and fast. So there will be the opportunity for some teams to make a mark. One way or the other, we shall see. So we start off then, as I say, 3 o'clock on Boxing Day. The first match up, or match listed, it's Blackburn Rovers against Sunderland. As I say, Blackburn's excellent run came to a halt down at Millwall. Millwall changing their coach, so in between coaches at the moment, as I understand. So they did well to hold Blackburn's progress. So Blackburn will be a bit frustrated by that. Sunderland had an excellent 2-1 win at home to Norwich. A good win there, so that keeps their little run going. 3 wins in 4 for Sunderland now, so they're looking perking up again. As I say, in that little top 4 mini breakaway group at the moment. When I say mini breakaway, it's just 6 points, but it is a decent gap at this time of the season. Because this is, by the way, the halfway point. It's game week 23, so here we're halfway through the season already. So, Blackburn against Sunderland then. I think Blackburn will get back to winning ways, but not only just, and it's going to be you could really make a case for any of the 3 results here, home win, draw, or away win, to be honest. So I'm going to take Blackburn, to win this one by 2-1. Just a narrow win, but I think they'll be back. Next up listed is Bristol City against Luton Town. Bristol City, as sort of predicted, put up a meek performance really to go down 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion. They didn't really show much at all. It was the only game on the Sunday, and it's on the television. I watched a bit of it, quite a bit of it, and it was disappointing as a Bristol City supporter. It was certainly disappointing stuff to watch. Nothing much coming from them at all at the moment. They're really on a bit of a slippery slope. And Luton, of course, had the incredible dramatic win on Friday night against Derby. Derby were not cruising the match by any means. That would be silly to say when you're only 1-0 up. But Derby were 1-0 up and looking quite good in the match. But then suddenly 2 deflected goals, not massive deflections, but enough to steer it past the keeper both times. Saw Luton came back and win in injury time, in stoppage time. So Luton got a much needed win. Derby will feel a bit deflated after their excellent 4-0 win the Friday before. So we're back to Bristol City against Luton then, and I think Bristol City's form is so poor at the moment, if I'm honest. Only one win in 7, and no disrespect to Plymouth, that was against Plymouth, who are currently bottom of the table. So Bristol City really struggling, not scoring goals, not playing with any real pattern or shape at the moment. It's worrying times, really. They're in 12th place, sorry. They're going in the wrong direction at the moment. And I think they'll slip up against Luton. Although there'll be a healthy crowd at Ashton Gate, Boxing Day always brings out healthy crowds everywhere, doesn't it? But I think they're going to go under on Boxing afternoon, and I'm going to take Luton to snatch the points. Bristol City 1, Luton Town 2. Then we have Coventry against Plymouth. Interesting one this, Frank Lampard against Wayne Rooney. And both will not be feeling great going into the match. Although Plymouth did have a plucky 3-3 draw against Middlesbrough, ahead 3 times. But as we know, Plymouth have now conceded 45 goals. That's more than 2 a match at the moment on average. So they're always a suspect at the back. And they were no different at the weekend, going ahead 3 times. But obviously Middlesbrough are used to finding the back of the net regularly, 38 goals. Now, I think quickly looking down, apart from Leeds, is the second top score. So they've always got goals in them, and they prove that. So it was an exciting 3-3 draw. Plymouth will be happy to take a point probably in the end, although they were ahead 3 times. But it hasn't stopped them being bottom of the league, unfortunately, going into the Christmas break. Coventry, meanwhile, had a terrible performance down at Fratton Park. I'll give credit to Portsmouth, I guess. But they were done by Callum Lane, who scored all 4 Portsmouth goals. Having Coventry taken the lead in the first few minutes, and normally when Portsmouth go behind, they have struggled to sort of make an impact in the match, home or away. But they certainly didn't struggle on Saturday afternoon. They came storming back to win 4-1. So Coventry go into this match against Plymouth with their tail between their legs. And I know Frank Lampard wasn't happy with anything at all much after the game, as you would expect. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. It'll be a close one. I just think the confidence in both camps is fragile. But I think Coventry will just about edge it, and I'm going to take them to win by 2-1 as well. So Coventry 2, Plymouth 1. Going into Middlesbrough against Sheffield Wednesday, Middlesbrough are just in the top 6 on goal difference. In fact, it's not on goal difference, it's on matches won, because their goal difference is exactly the same as West Bromwich Albion's. However, they're in the top 6 and they have Sheffield Wednesday against. Now, Sheffield Wednesday really are picking up, as I say, 4 wins out of the last 6, only 1 loss. But I think they're going to find it tough going at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough really are playing pretty well by and large, and pretty consistently at the moment. And I think they will, home advantage will count here on Boxing afternoon. And Sheffield Wednesday had a good 2-0 win at home against Stoke. Made better than it sounds, because they had a player sent off at 0-0. So still scored 2 goals with 10 men and won the game. So hats off to them. So that's their confidence at the moment is right up there. They really are making a decent impression this season after only escaping in the last moment last season. Excuse me. So we have Middlesbrough, I think, will just have too much. I'm going to take Middlesbrough to win the match by 2-0. Excuse me again. That brings us to Norwich against Millwall. Now, Norwich are just having that, they're mid-table. And if you were to draw a graph of their form, it would be up and down, and there's no pattern, no real consistency at all at the moment. And slightly worryingly, I think 3 defeats in 4 is a bit of a red flag for them. They did manage a draw in there too. So, but I think they might just come up trumps here against Millwall. Although Millwall had a really excellent morale-boosting win against Blackburn, as I say, to stop the Blackburn juggernaut that was. But I think Norwich will come up trumps. I'm going to I'm going to take them to win by 2-0. So yes, as I say, 71 goals in Norwich's combined goal, 4 against in Norwich's matches. So there could be goals, but I think it might just calm down a bit and Norwich might take the points. Norwich City 2, Millwall 0. Now we have a real basement battle next up. That's Oxford United against Cardiff. Oxford, as we know, have been plummeting towards the bottom of the league now for some weeks, resulting in the slightly surprising, even despite that, slightly surprising change of coach with Des Buckingham leaving post last week. And they had to go to their next matchup was against Leeds away, which you couldn't. I suppose just get it out of the way was probably the only thought, maybe. But then they went down 4-0. Leeds put them away as you would have expected. And Cardiff had also the other side in the top two to manage, to deal with, and that they went down 2-0 at home to Sheffield United. As I say, Sheffield United now just pushing out these results, 1-0, 2-0, on a regular, like a conveyor belt at the moment, so they're really doing well. So what are we going to do about this relegation battle then on the halfway point of the season? I think there's not going to be anything in it. There's going to be not much. It's going to be low risk football. Neither side will want to give anything to the opposition in this situation. So I think it's going to end up being a draw. I'm going to take Oxford United 1, Cardiff City 1. Next up, we have Preston North End against Hull. Now, Preston went down 2-1 to Queen's Park Rangers. No disgrace the way at the moment the way QPR are playing, to be fair, but they did go down narrowly. Although they have had a decent block of results of late. Preston had a little unbeaten run, didn't they? 4 draws and a win. They slipped up, as I say, at QPR. Hull, meanwhile, came back from behind, I believe. Well, no, they drew. They went in front. Swansea got back, and then Hull put them away for a rare home win, a lesser spotted home win for Hull. But they did get the 3 points, took them off the bottom of the table, because it's quite tight in that little cluster at the bottom, and they're on 19 points, just above the relegation line, with, as I say, the 3 teams on 18 points being the bottom 3 at the moment: Plymouth, Oxford and Cardiff. So Preston and Hull, I think Hull will just dig in again here. I'm going to take them both sides to take a point. They both have had a good number of draws, 18 between them this season. I think this will be number 19. I'm going to go Preston North End 1, Hull City 1. Now we go back to the top of the league table, and this is a sort of a heavyweight match between Sheffield United and Burnley. Now, given Sheffield United have been churning out these results with monotonous regularity lately, as have Burnley, by the way, as we know, their defensive record is incredible. They've only scored, I say only, but they've scored 28 goals, which is slightly lower than most of the teams up there in that top bracket. However, their defence has just been second to none all the way through the season, still in single figures in the against column, and here we are halfway through the season. Quite incredible, really. However, I think Sheffield United, so Burnley had a good win against Watford. Sheffield United, as we've said, Sheffield United went down to Cardiff and got the points 2-0. So this one, I think Sheffield United will churn out one of their results, but it won't be as comfortable as it has been in recent weeks, I don't think. I think they'll just nick it in the odd goal in 3. So I'm going to say Sheffield United 2, Burnley 1. Then we go to Swansea against Queen's Park Rangers, and as I say, Queen's Park Rangers fans will be really pleased with their sort of second half of the first part of the season, if you like, has really got them a good return of points and form, which is good news as they slowly but surely climb the table. And I have to say, they had a decent home win against Preston at the weekend. They go to Swansea, who slipped up against Hull, but Hull obviously under their new manager, perhaps playing a bit of rejuvenation. And I think this game is going to be a tough one for both sides. Swansea have lost their last couple, so they want to put a block on that straight away before it goes into a really poor run. So I'm going to take this to be a draw. Swansea 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Now we have Watford, who have just only one win in 4, so they need to get back on track in the wins column. However, they're still in 8th place, very well placed to make a playoff push in the second half of the season. And they come up against Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth, you just quite never know at the moment what they're going to come up with. They had a dismal 4-0 win against a 4-0 defeat. Wins aren't dismal, are they? A dismal 4-0 defeat on the previous Friday night at Derby, as we spoke about. And last weekend they put Coventry away 4-1. So what is going to come? What Portsmouth is going to turn up at Watford? We just know their away form can be a bit flaky if they're put under pressure, especially early on in matches. They seem to lose their way quickly if a team goes at them. I'm not sure that's Watford's style, actually. They seem to rely on their game plan, which is a little bit more organised and sort of going gung-ho at a team early on. But we shall see. I think Watford will just edge it, but it won't be easy for them. But their home record is really good, fantastic, in fact. Yeah, as we know, I think that's just the one defeat all season. So I'm going to take Watford to take this one by 2-1. Watford 2, Portsmouth 1. 2 to go then, and these are the 2 matches that are on the same day, obviously, but not at the standard 3 o'clock kickoff. It's 5:30 for Derby and West Bromwich Albion. Now, Derby will be really disappointed with all the events late on Friday night down at Luton, as I spoke about earlier. They seem to had their hands on 3 points and ended up with all 3 points slipping through their hands. So that was disappointing for them. West Bromwich Albion had a very, very routine, almost training session-like win against Bristol City. Bristol City offered them nothing really, disappointingly on the day. So West Brom had a nice, easy run out there and picked up the 3 points. And I'm not saying this is going to be an easy run out, but I still say they'll pick up the 3 points. I think they'll go there and show their extra bit of quality they've got. They've only lost to 3 times all season, so I think they're going to pick up the 3 points here too by winning by 2-0. So Derby 0, West Bromwich Albion 2. And finally, last but not least, it's Stoke City at the 8 o'clock kickoff on Boxing night, if we're still all awake by then. Stoke City against Leeds United, and it's Leeds United really, I think, just to go there and get the 3 points. As I say, they brushed aside Oxford on Saturday, which wasn't a major surprise for them to do that, was it? By 4-0. Stoke lost slightly meekly, really, to Sheffield Wednesday, because Stoke were playing against 10 men from the time it was 0-0, so they couldn't make an impression against the 10 men, and Sheffield Wednesday took the points, so that was a feather in their cap for doing that. So I think Stoke's form really has nosedived again after a little bit of a pickup a few weeks ago. They've now had 4 defeats in 5, and they're really looking a little bit out of sorts completely. They're 4 points away from the bottom 3, but there's some other teams now coming down the league, and some that have sort of had poor starts and now making a move. So it's an interesting little switch around taking place. And Stoke are one of those sides going in the wrong direction at the moment. And I think they will just go under again. I say go under. They will lose to Leeds on Boxing night, with Leeds taking the points with I think a comfortable 3-0 win. So there we go. Stoke City 0, Leeds United 3 is my shout. So there we are. Boxing Day will come and go. I hope that you have some entertainment from all of that and any of the football that you watch over the festive season. It just remains for me to say thank you for watching the clip, as you do, and I must wish every single one of you a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you again. I'm not doing the double headers. I don't like doing those if I can avoid it, so I'll be back between Christmas and New Year, or Christmas and the holiday Sunday, to do the games for the 29th of December. So that's our next programme. But as I say, have a great time. Please take care, stay healthy, stay safe. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.